Hey,
Hi, can you hear me all right?
yeah, everything's okay. So we
Good.
we
So
managed
sorry
to
about.
catch up.
Sorry, there was big confusion with the whether it's on or not, but
Yeah, I just
yeah,
received the email
good.
from Fernando. Okay, so hold on a second. I will close the door because my two daughters maybe interrupt us.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the fact that right now you're in the United States with Delilah Bond. So how did you land on this tour, and how is it going?
It's been really good. Yeah. So I played with Delilah when she was known as Lauren in a band called Hands Off Gretel. It was a punk grunge band. I joined that band back in 2018. So I played with Lauren before in a previous band, and then when she needed a bass player for a London show earlier this year, she asked me to do that. And then I did a couple of other shows with them in Europe, and it went really well, and we kind of gelled instantly again, and it just felt right to do some more. And she had this tour in the USA. She was going to do it on her own, just backing tracks and the drummer, but then she decided like it'd be cool to have bass on this run. And yeah, so I didn't want to turn down that opportunity to do 4 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks in the US. It's been really, really great.
And right now we're gonna see the new Fury album. So let's start with the fact that in 2022, a singer Naya Ifil joined the band. So how did she get recruited, and where did you get the idea to add the second female vocalist?
I think it was quite a gradual process. So, and I think it was kind of sped up by the lockdown, COVID, all this stuff, because we had so much time not doing our usual, like, 9 to 5 jobs and stuff like this. There was a lot more time for creativity. And she was involved with the 2020 album, The Grand Prize. So, but that was, I think she did one track on that album, but when we moved on to the second album, the second album that I did, Born to Sin in 2022, the writing was happening a lot quicker, and she was around for a lot of the writing process. She was available, and it made sense to utilize her voice and her availability. And then when we started doing some shows again, at first it was like live stream shows, it weren't real gigs with an audience, and she was available for them. And it really felt like it was missing something to not have that extra layer of harmony vocals. So we did the gigs, lockdown gigs, live stream shows with her, and then we started touring again, and we'd have her along for a few shows, and they just elevated the performance so much that we decided that she should become an official member. Still, it was still just more like harmony vocals, backing vocals, that sort of thing. But when we started working on Interceptor, it was like, well, actually, like she's got a great voice. Like it should be front and center as well. So we could then explore the possibility of two lead singers, which just opens up so many more options in terms of the songs that can be written, and like the range in like vocal style and in keys, and stuff that like a male singer can't quite reach. We've got someone who could do that, and stuff that she can't reach. We've got Julian to do that. So yeah, it was quite organic and gradual how it came about, but I think it's really made the band quite special.
But the first track from this new lineup was an acoustic version of an early track, Dragon's Song. So why did you choose to do this like this arrangement with her?
Oh, I think well, I can't remember what the inspiration of that actually came about. I think we were enjoying doing some more stripped back stuff, and we wanted to push that we were doing a re-release of the Lost in Space album. So the original recording of that is on the Lost in Space album, and we were releasing that on vinyl for the first time. So we wanted to make a big deal about that album, It's a fan favorite Dragon song, and it works so well with the extra harmonies and strip back and just kind of let those vocal melodies come through more clearly. So yeah, it made sense to do something like that. And we were also in a transitional period with guitarists, so we were we didn't need like loads of shredding going on and stuff. So to do something a bit more stripped back that we could just quickly get out and to promote the vinyl release, it just made sense. And I think maybe we performed it at a vinyl store or something, just like a little acoustic pop up performance, and people enjoyed it so much that we thought let's record it, like let's reimagine this song, and I think it went down really well.
But the first new track from the new lineup was Prince of Darkness. So what can you tell us about this song and why it isn't included on the new album?
Ah, okay, yeah. So we did Prince of Darkness. It was more as to test the waters with a new process of recording. So Prince of Darkness was originally released on the first album, The Lightning Dream, and it was 10 years anniversary of that album. And we were looking at options of where to record the new album Interceptor, and we'd been speaking to Todd Campbell about his studio, and this would be moving away from Pete Newdeck, who we used for Born to Sin and Lost in Space and the Grand Prize. So we're kind of like, oh, we're quite safe and like happy with what's going on with Pete, but we do kind of want to try something different. So let's just do one single with Todd and see how it comes out. So we wanted to just do one recording. We've been playing it live with Naya singing it. It's in a slightly higher key, so it suits her voice better. And yeah, that has been going down live really well with her singing it. So we decided to record that as just as a one-off, see how people receive it with the new recording approach. And of course, the sound was great, and so we knew then that we could continue doing the full Interceptor album with Todd doing the recording.
Yeah, it went very well because it is the first album with Todd as a producer. So how did he contributed to the sound of the Fury?
Um, I think just I don't know. I guess his expertise in getting like guitar tones, drum tones, the recording quality is just real good. I think also him being a guitarist, whereas like Pete was there was something I don't know real special about the albums that Pete Newdeck did, especially the Grand Prize, because he has a really good ear for harmonies, and I think that really encouraged us to do lots more harmonies. Whereas Todd is more guitar stuff, and like I think he had lots of ideas about how to layer the guitars up, and I think we wanted something more like that. We wanted I don't know the guitars to be more like urgent and uh, I don't know. I guess a heavier sound, whereas the ones with Pete were a bit more AOR kind of style of recording. Like it was more sweet sounding, which I liked, and I also like the Interceptor vibe. So yeah, I think he's got like Todd has more of a aggressive edge to the sound, and I think it comes across really well for the album.
And like you said before, there was also a change in Fury on the guitar. So how did this change come about?
So in yeah, we had Aki join in 2023. He depped for a couple of shows, and then yeah, and then stuck around for the album.
And now we're gonna hear the new songs from the Fury and the new lineup. But how do you approach the early material in concerts? Does Naya take over some of the older songs or share them with Julian?
Yes, yeah. So yeah, there's a few songs from like the older stuff. For example, like Prince of Darkness, that Naya will now sing, and there's some songs where like Julian and Naya can take a verse each. So we've got If You Get to Hell First, they share that. But the songs all really lend themselves well to like stacked harmonies, and so there's always a lot for her to do. So it's a very engaging show. It's cool. It's a cool thing to see live, I think.
And the first single promoting the new album was the title track Interceptor. And could you say that it's a classic Fury because it's fast, dynamic with Julian on lead vocals? So you didn't want to reveal all your cards right away?
Yeah, I think we wanted something that would um, that make the old fans of like the previous albums be like, oh yeah, this is Fury. They're not doing anything too crazy yet, and just reassure people that like, yeah, no, we're still it's still fast. It's still kind of metal. Like I guess it's not a strictly metal album. It's more leading into hard rock in places, but we're still a metal band, and that was just kind of a little reminder, like, don't make your decisions too quickly. If we put out one of the soft songs, like there's there's two ballads on this album. If we put out one of those first, I think people would be frightened and be like, "What the hell happened to Fury?" But so we put that out first. It reassured the old fans, and then we're gonna start like leaking out some other singles. So then the next one was What's It Gonna Be, and that was something to give Naya more of a feature. And then the one we released this weekend, Don't Lie to Me, which is more like Julian does the verses, Naya does the pre-chorus and middle eight, and then it's kind of gang vocal for the chorus. So yeah, it's like I don't know, we're trying to like balance it out and show all the variety of different things that the band can do.
So the second single was to show Fury's new side, to focus solely on Naya.
Yeah, I think we wanted yeah, just to show the range of what we can do. So yeah, What's It Gonna Be is I don't know, I guess a little bit softer. It's more melodic, and showcases her vocals a lot more, which she's still there in Interceptor, but for her to be able to do the full thing on lead vocals was pretty cool.
And the third single focuses on the lies, propaganda, and greed of the 1% of the population. So, what inspired Don't Lie to Me?
I think just a overarching frustration with uh, the government, with newspapers, with the division that is existing in our society, that people want to blame mostly like immigrants and for their problems, and like the problems that are that so many people live in poverty right now and are real struggling to keep their heads above water, and they kind of put the blame on people who come from Europe or from the Middle East, and they try and do things like we had Brexit over here where we tried to leave the European Union, and it completely backfired. It didn't help us at all. Like, and now, and the lies that were spread about how if we leave the EU, we won't have to pay as much taxpayer money into it, and it'll be great, and we'll be able to support our NHS, like our health service, instead. What happened? We left the EU, and we didn't have enough nurses working there anymore, and like we we had less money going into it. We had less support for the NHS, and now yeah, we're real struggling even worse. And people blame immigrants when that it's completely misplaced, because there are people that are taking money from you, money off your backs. Like the work that you put in is being exploited by people, but it's not by people who are coming here to work. It's not being done like people come here to seek safety. They're not the people that have got your money. They've got nothing. It's the people that have a lot of money. They're the ones that have taken it from you. Like, how can that not be seen? But like, there's a way of the media kind of making people angry about this, trying to make people blame each other, when we want to bring people together and say, no, we are all struggling with this. We're all suffering this. We are all impacted by the fact that that there is not enough support for people who are like working class and like working 3 jobs just to try and survive. We're all in this together, and let's not blame each other. Let's look at where the money is going and look at like who's really to blame here, and let's address that rather than fighting amongst ourselves. Sorry,
It's
that was a long that was a long rant.
it's interesting because I interviewed John Davis from Conan like in 2021, so right after the Brexit, and he
Mm,
told me basically the same thing that it looked differently on paper when the politicians were saying what politicians were saying about Brexit, and right after the Brexit, it turns out that for artists it's like a really pain in the ass because suddenly to do a tour on Europe and you have to like have like million documents to travel to
yeah.
some countries.
Yeah, it's so much harder, and I don't know what I don't know what they were thinking. Honestly, like I did I mean we always liked gigging in Europe. We rarely got to go over there because the band kind of grew during after all of this happened. But whenever we did go out there, it was fantastic. It's such a good market for us. And then after Brexit, we needed so many more documents. We have to keep an eye on how many times we can go over there because you can only have a certain amount of days over there in a year, and you know there's like tax imports exports it's and like we're just musicians, man. Like we don't like all this paperwork. So yeah, it really just we shot ourselves in the foot by voting for that. And to be honest, it wasn't even a majority. It was like just over 50% of the people who bothered to like go to the polls that day. But I think if you ask the people who did vote for it, they have probably changed their mind because every industry it has been struggling since because of it. And you know we're trying to figure out ways where we can, I don't know, still get some of the benefits that we used to have. And it's just a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. And as a musician, like it kind of sucks. Like it was hard enough. Like you know, I'm lucky I managed to get a visa for this tour with Delilah Bond, but you know, it is hard for bands to tour America, and um, like as a non-American, it's hard to get that kind of work. And then also as a non-EU member, yeah, like national, then it's hard for me to work in the EU as well. Like, why would you hire someone, a British person, if you know maybe your band or you know a tour that's going on has loads of shows in the EU, and you want someone within the EU so that you don't have to mess around with all this paperwork, even if it's like possible. You just don't want. You'd rather just hire someone from there. So I don't know. We've really screwed this up.
And the press material for the new album states that the new album is louder, bolder, more dynamic than ever. And I would add more melodic because this is probably your most catchy material, and it's somewhat reminiscent of the bands from the 80s. So would you agree with me that you actually looked at the 80s in music style?
Yes, yeah. I think the overarching vibe is a bit more 80s, I think, in the aesthetics as well, visually. And yeah, like some of the songs. Did you listen to the full album?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. Yeah, some of it is really 80s. DTR is one of my favorites, and it's, I don't know, just very just uplifting 80s vibes. But, you know, there's stuff that's more like I don't know. We've got one that we call the Bon Jovi song, and uh, yeah, like I don't know. I don't want to put people off. it's not it's not all that soft, but yeah.
Yeah, but my favorite song is the last song on the album. It is Undistilled, so it's
Oh,
somewhat
cool.
like a ballad, but at the end it's very it's faster, it's melodic, and it sticks into your head.
Yeah, it kicks in, and it's like yeah, it's strong at the end. It's cool.
And the cover artwork for the new album was made by Alberto Quirantes, and it refers to the 80s style, more like cyberpunk, more Blade Runner. So why did you choose him to make the cover?
Well, you know, he works with like Iron Maiden, and we thought that was really cool, and we wanted that like movie poster vibe. Yeah, that kind of aesthetic, that 80s thing, and yeah, we're really happy with it. I think it's really come together super well.
in previous years you have songs inspired by the 80s, like for example you have the song called The Road Warrior, which is my favorite movie.
Ah, yes.
So what is your favorite movie from the 80s?
Ooh. Let me think. I don't know. Maybe like maybe the Evil Dead. Is that the 80s? I think.
Yeah, although
It,
the Army of Darkness is like in the on the probably 91. It's somewhere,
okay, yeah, probably.
yeah. But yeah,
Um,
the second one
the
is
first
yeah.
one, yeah. Yeah, no, I really love horror movies, so that's more of my bag. But so yeah, maybe like Evil Dead. If I had time to think, I'd probably be able to list you some more. That's the
Yeah,
first one that comes to mind.
I watched like 1,000 horror movies,
It's
so
such a good era, and like I love
yeah.
like practical effects, and that before everything became CGI and a bit naff. I don't know. Actually, I kind of like the naffness of when it's like it's trying to make it look a certain way and it's kind of failing. I find that quite cool.
Yeah, the special edition of the Evil Dead 2 on the DVD, it has an amazing documentary movie about how they were making the special effects. So if you haven't watched it, it's just incredible. It's so much
Oh,
fun.
I like the one where they say that when someone stabs a pencil into someone's like ankle and they got that sound by stabbing an apple, like, and I'm like, oh mate, I bet that that must be so much fun to be coming up with those kind of ideas like how do we make this look really disgusting? How do we make this sound disgusting? And they just try things out and it works really well.
Yeah, and in 2024, you joined the legendary Merciful Fate as a full-time member because previously you played at some shows with them. So how did it happen that you became the full-time member of the Merciful Fate?
So it was, I guess, mostly due to availability of Joey Vera. So he was the official member when they reformed in 2019. Um, After the tragic death of Timmy Hansen, the original bass player. So Joey was in the band, and then there was I don't know various delays and lockdowns and stuff. So Merciful Fate were trying to come back, and then big lockdown, all the gigs are cancelled. Things are getting moved around. But Joey also has his band Armored Saint when he's like one of the main forces behind that band. So when things were getting moved around and they ended up clashing, then Joey had to prioritize Armored Saint, and that's how I got the initial like depth tour, and then but that continued to happen when we had some more shows. So in 2024 was Chile and Brazil, and so when they had those gigs booked, they first offered it to Joey and said like we've got these two shows. Joey couldn't do that either, and so they offered it to me, and then I think that they would like then thinking about it and going, well, we're gonna try and do a new album. Are we going to work with Joey and just see what happens with the gigs, or do you want to get a bass player who is going to commit to doing all the gigs? And they thought it would be cool to have someone who could do all of them, and obviously like luckily the the support of the fans was really good. Like they really accepted me, and they most people were like, yeah, this really works. Like even though there's a kind of generational gap, uh, people just think, yeah, like fits right in on stage, and for the crew, kind of gets on with everyone. That's cool. So yeah, I guess the first tour was just testing the waters, and then it just made sense to then join in 2024.
Yeah, I was also surprised by the reception of the fans because usually when a new member is introduced, people are like, "Well, we like the previous one," oh, and
Yeah.
when the first official photo emerged of the new Merciful lineup, people were like, "Okay, this may works actually."
Yeah, no, people on the internet, they're just professional haters, really, generally. Like, but they weren't like that. The fans were actually really accepting, and especially for a legacy band, people want just the OG. They don't want anything to change, and unfortunately, like things have to change. That they would definitely be still doing it with Timmy Hansen if he was still alive, if he could still do it. So they do have to make some changes, Um, but yeah, no, it was good. It was cool that the fans were so accepting. Luckily, like a lot of them knew me from before, like they were kind of already familiar with me, and like, oh, well, we know she can play, so it'll be cool. But you know, the band is still the band. You still got King, you still got Hank Sherman, and that's like your main your main part of it. Um, but you know, I'm just there to do the best job I can, playing Timmy Hansen's bass lines. He's a fantastic bass player, and it was really inspiring to dissect his bass lines as much as possible and try and make them as accurate to how he recorded them as I could. So yeah, I'm glad that the fans kind of recognize that. Like, yes, she does have the same style. It was one of the things that that King said. He said like your fingerstyle playing is really reminds me of Timmy Hansen, and that's really cool. But also, you play a Rickenbacker like Charlie, the other bass player. So it's like, huh, this makes sense.
So you basically replaced, not replaced, step into to the shoes of two legends, Hansen and Vera. So did you feel stressed or did it boost your self-esteem? Because after all, from all of these best players, they choose you.
Yeah, that was a lot to deal with. Like, I was real stressed, to be honest. Yeah, I had huge imposter syndrome. I just really felt like, why, why me? um, you know, you've got given so much responsibility, and you know, the level that I was touring at before, you know, just small shows like 200 capacity venues, that kind of thing, in vans and just sleeping on people's floors, and doing everything ourselves, to having a tour bus and a crew, and I don't even have to tune my own damn bass. It's so weird. So yeah, that was probably the biggest shock, was actually going on the road and just seeing how different it all is to be playing at that level. But the songs themselves, like they were, I guess, pretty challenging to learn. Like in terms of like the songs are very proggy. They're very so many sections to memorize. So it really was challenging, and I had like a month. I just threw myself into it, listened to it every day. Luckily, I was already quite familiar with the Melissa album and Don't Break the Oath, so they were kind of like in there to listen to. It was just applying it all to the playing. That but yeah, I was super stressed, and I was like, really, I don't know. Like, of course, I had like the best time ever, but I was so scared of getting it wrong, because I guess like now I feel a lot more comfortable with it all. I did the job okay, and they asked me to join permanently, so I did my job right. But at the time, you're just like, this is my one chance, my one opportunity. Don't mess it up. Like, you have to learn this perfectly. If anything goes wrong, that's the end for you. Nobody gets this kind of opportunity. You don't just get, not everyone gets just plucked from obscurity and thrown on a huge tour like this. So like the pressure is high. Don't mess it up. But I didn't need to be that worried, to be honest.
Yeah, it is also a big step because with such a legendary bands, you will always be like the member of Merciful Fate.
Yes, yeah. I just I can't wait to get into the recording, because it still feels so surreal to me. You know, I was listening to Merciful Fate when I was a teenager, and I had the Melissa album, and I just thought they were just insanely cool. But I got into them long after they did their last tour in 1999, and I never thought I'd even get the chance to see them. Then they came back, they played Bloodstock, I was there, then I got asked to join it. You know, it all just like, it makes no sense. But yeah, to then be part of the band's like legacy and history, like when that new album is out, to have my name written on it, that'll just be so cool. I'm really looking forward to that.
And how's the situation with the new album? Because it was to be expected in 2025.
So it's been yeah, I don't think it's going to happen this year, but so the next thing that King is going to be working on is the King Diamond albums. They've just finished the King Diamond tour in Europe, and I think there's three singles or three songs in that set list from the new King Diamond album. So it's definitely in the works. It's coming, and hopefully it won't be much longer. He can get that finished, and then following that album, then we'll be cracking on with the Merciful Fate album. But you know, the instrumentally, it's pretty much there. It just needs arranging. There's the one song that we did live, Jackal of Salzburg. That's already ready. It's been like demoed lots. um, but yeah, we'll be working on the new album hopefully hopefully next year.
I heard Jackal of Salzburg live like 3 or 4 years ago with Jai Vera on the bass. So how did it change compared to the first version that was presented live?
Um, I think so. Yeah, like when I learned the song, it was just from a live recording from one of the festival shows that they did. Probably, yeah, when you saw them. Um, and I think you know there's been a couple of like minor changes, I guess, but I think mostly like in the arrangement. What the thing is when you're playing it like live, you've got to there's a way of kind of communicating as a band, I suppose, and you've just got to get through the song. But when you get to record it and you can really like kind of see it in front of you, I think King will be kind of thinking, all right, actually maybe let's move this around here and there. And actually, I heard him a demo version that King had finished off, and he had you know all the layers of vocals, all you know all the great sounds that we know him for, and it was like gives you goosebumps. It was really cool.
And have you noticed that Fury's recognition has increased after you joined Merciful Fate? People have started to wonder from where Becky Baldwin came from.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really helped. I think the band is the style is quite different, but I think enough metalheads are open minded enough to listen to like you know your old school. But I guess you know both bands are very like 80s, like you know Fury are 80s inspired. Um, our favorite bands are the same as Merciful Fate's favorite bands. You know they influence bands that we are inspired by. So yeah, I know there is a lot of links in there. So it's cool when fans discover Fury through Merciful Fate. It's really great. It's been a really great opportunity for myself and for Fury. I mean, unfortunately, it means sometimes I can't do the Fury shows because you know I'm off with Merciful Fate. I've missed a few festivals because of that. But I think overall, it does have a good impact. You know, people like to hear those familiar names when it's like, oh, Fury, who are they? I don't care. But then they say, oh, but there's this band that you know London plays for. Then they're like, okay, well, let's give it a go. And I think it's also been quite helpful that we signed with the label Mighty Music, and they're a Danish label. So it's cool to have that like Denmark link, and of course, Merciful Fate are pretty big over there. So it'll hopefully open some doors for us to do more shows in Denmark.
And how's the Fury's concert situation? Because there will be extensive UK tour, but what about the rest of Europe?
Yeah, we're doing we're doing our first show in Denmark in April at Epic Fest in Roskilde, and hopefully we'll be able to get some shows around that. So hopefully, like in April time, we'll be able to come through France, Belgium, Germany. Like probably, you know, it's been difficult, like trying to break into that market on our own. Like when you're just doing it all DIY, you're just trying to book gigs and make people care about it. It's so hard. But you know, we were lucky a couple of years ago to support Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons in Europe, and that was a really big help. But you know, hopefully we can maybe get like an agent involved at some point, and we can do some more of the festivals and that sort of thing. Because I don't know, a lot of people, um, it's hard cold calling venues, so just being like, please give a chance to us. Um, but yeah, like we will be trying to book some shows in Europe for next year.
Maybe something in Poland also?
That would be nice. Yeah, we did one show in Poland. Where was it? I can't remember the name of the town now. Begin with L. No, I can't remember. But yeah, 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 we would like to come to Poland again.
And this is all that I have prepared. So thank you very much for your time, especially that you are a very busy musician.
It's cool. We got a day off today, so I was happy we could book it in despite the time zone. I was like looking it up because we're driving across states, and so I was like, well, what time zone is it? Because we changed time zone as we travel. But I'm glad we did actually manage to figure something out.
Yeah, okay. So again, thank you for your time. Have fun during the tour and during your day off. And
Thank you so
have
much.
a good day. And uh, it's evening, as you can see.
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock here, so it's all right. But thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the great questions. I'm glad you enjoyed the Fury album, even the ballads.
Okay, so bye.
Thank you. Bye.